What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Unsolved Enigma. We got another one for y'all. This one is going to take place with the Hoggle kids. Now, this one's a little bit more recent. This one takes place in 2014. And this one is got a lot of
sad. I mean, they're all sad, but
yeah, but this one is.
This is.
I don't know what to think about this one. That's why I was like,
Me
I don't.
neither.
You know what I mean?
This one touches on mental issues and missing children, and it's just really sad.
All right, so this one takes place in 2014 in Clarksville, Maryland. Now, this has to do with Troy, Catherine, and then their three children. Now, Troy, he was a salesman, a timeshare salesman, I believe. And Catherine, she, from what I understand,
I don't think that
she
worked.
couldn't, and I don't think she couldn't be around. Couldn't be around her children by herself.
Yes.
Because of mental issues
health
growing
issues.
up as a kid, she wasn't allowed to be alone with her children. Now, the children were 3-year-old Sarah, 2-year-old Jacob, and then
they had an
older child
whose name has not been released because he's still home.
Yeah, and we're not going to go into that.
Exactly. So
we respect privacy.
Yes. On September 7th, 2014, they went to a soccer game for one of the kids, and then they went to the park, the whole family. And then Troy had to work later that afternoon, so he dropped Catherine and the kids off at Catherine's mom's house around 2:30 p.m. So at 4 p.m., Catherine said she wanted to go take Jacob to get some pizza. Mind you, Catherine was not supposed to drive, and she was not supposed to be with the kids by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked her dad if she could borrow his car, and he said yes.
2007 Nissan Rogue is the vehicle he had.
So a couple hours later, she came back and she had no pizza and no Jacob. So when her parents asked her, "Where's Jacob?" she said that
he's staying the night at a friend's house.
He's staying at a friend's house. He's 2 years old, so not sure whose house he was staying at, and she didn't tell them either. So later, and
the parents should have been more on that, yo. Especially if they knew the history of her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need numbers. Maybe. I need names. If you can't give it to me right now, I'm calling the police. Like,
maybe.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I agree, but I can understand why they didn't.
I can, but I can't. I mean, it's your grandchild.
Yeah. So later on, Catherine's parents took Catherine and Sarah home. Troy got home from work around midnight, and he went in and checked on the kids. He peeked in Jacob's room.
So when he went to go check on him, he looked in the room, and he just thought that Jacob was in the room with the older brother.
Because he wasn't
in his room, so he decided, okay, boom, he's just going to go ahead and go to sleep.
Because I guess it was typical for Jacob to climb out of bed and then go into his older brother's room.
I mean, I got 3 kids. They do that all the time at night.
Exactly.
So I just go through and just check everything.
So the next morning, Troy got up and his oldest son was asking, "Where's my brother and sister?" And Sarah and Jacob were gone, and so was Catherine. So Troy went to call 911, but then Catherine was pulling up into the driveway. So Troy is like, what the hell is going on? Because Sarah and Jacob were not with her. And Catherine said that she had dropped them off at a new daycare in Germantown, Maryland, and they were just trying out the new daycare to see how it was.
She would pick them up later.
And he didn't think that was odd because I guess that was something that they had previously talked about doing.
But still, she went and did it by herself, so that right there should have been a fucking warning. Yeah. I would have tried to at least got information of the place,
right?
But
not everybody. I mean, sometimes.
I mean, he didn't, like you said, he probably wasn't. They were talking about it, so.
And I don't think she was working, so she would have been the one that handled everything anyway.
He went to drop her off at an appointment and picked her back up at 2:00. And she said, it was time to pick up the kids. And she said, I don't know the name of the daycare.
She said she didn't know the name of the daycare, but thought that she would be able to direct him there by, like, landmarks.
Yeah.
Which is
just
really
turn here. Let's just
weird.
Go here. Just go here.
And so basically,
Man,
that's
they had
what
GPS
she did.
back then. But she took him on a goose route.
Exactly. So,
a wild goose hunt.
Turn here. Oh, no, wait, turn here. And eventually he's like, what the hell?
And I think after that, she was like, she needed to stop and get something to drink. I believe the medication that she was on, or the way she was, she needed to.
She got tired really.
Yeah, so she had to get some caffeine or something like that. And Catherine got out, and then
At
he was sitting there
Chick-fil-A.
irritated because she hasn't came out yet. And when he went to go look and see, she was gone.
She went out a different door
Pew!
and took off.
Pew!
So Troy at this point went to the police because his two of his 3 children are missing and his girlfriend just took off. He went 4 days without knowing where anybody was, and
Even her.
Yeah, and he went to the police, and they ended up tracking Catherine down with the K-9 unit. And she was wearing the same clothes, but had gotten a haircut and cut her hair shorter, and she was clutching a missing person poster of the kids. So at this point, they're like, what the hell? So 1,400 people went searching for the kids and couldn't find any evidence of them at all, living or deceased.
That's... Whew!
So they took Catherine into custody.
When she was taken into custody, they were interrogating her, and she was stating that she dropped the kids off with a woman named Erin, and they were safe. Now, she wouldn't tell them anything else. She didn't tell them where Erin lived, why she dropped them off. Only thing she kept saying was, they're safe. They're safe. They're safe. Now,
at this point, it began to be a search for bodies, and because they believed that Catherine had killed the children.
It could have been either that or because sex trafficking.
Or underground adoption.
Or underground adoption. That was going to be my next one, because that was one thing that they thought was going on here. Because since she wasn't fit to raise her kids, they thought she might have adopted them. Got rid of them and stuff.
So she then told them that she had left the kids at a park in Germantown and said that she would show them where. So they gave into that and went to the park, and the kids were not found, and no evidence of them previously being there was found either. So at that point, Catherine completely shut down and wouldn't say anything other than they are safe.
So they charged her with parental abduction, neglect, and hindering a police investigation. And she was committed to a max security mental health facility. And so...
to explain her mental health issues, after she had her first son, she started getting extremely paranoid and thought that somebody was out to get them, to the extent to where she would leave dishes on the door handles, so that if the handle turned, the dish would fall and break, so she would be able to hear if somebody was getting in. So they ended up taking her to Troy ended up taking her to the hospital, and they diagnosed her with either paranoid schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, which schizoaffective disorder has more hallucinations than paranoid schizophrenia. But I am also curious because postpartum psychosis is a thing, in addition to like postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And postpartum psychosis matches a lot of the things that she had going on. On August of 2013, Catherine was involuntarily committed to a psych hospital and put on medication. She came home to Troy, where he set rules that she had to go to a daily treatment program, which is the appointment they were going to that day, and that she could not be home alone with the children without someone else present, which is sad, but it is understandable given her condition.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, in the situation, even if I had the same mental issues she had, I would expect the same thing. Exactly. I wouldn't want to.
So they were only allowed to hold her
for 3 years.
For 3 years in the psychiatric
because
hospital.
Her charges weren't felonies.
Yeah, and they're trying to determine her competency. And at that point, she was deemed incompetent to stand trial, so they could only hold her for 3 years.
Yeah, some people are saying that she's faking it, which she possibly could.
It's hard to do. Maybe not so hard to initially fake it, but to continue to carry it on, especially
for that long.
She's under constant observation in the hospital.
24-hour watch.
Very difficult to keep up faking it.
And that's what some experts were saying.
She was faking it.
Some people were saying that if she was faking it, like she said, I mean, she was in that mental health facility for 3 years, and then they and then they ended up because they. When her 3 years were up in 2017, they ended up charging her with 2 counts of felony murder since they couldn't find anything. And that would give them an additional 5 years for her to be competent, regularly tested for competency and stuff like that.
They would tested her, I think, a couple times a year for competency. And she just never reached it in the opinion of the doctors. So, like you said, many people do believe that she's faking. I think that it would be hard for her to keep it up for that long. Supposedly, Catherine told Troy that she would never be charged for this. And her mother says that she didn't think her daughter would ever murder her children, which nobody ever thinks that their kid is going to murder somebody.
If she was having hallucinations and then she was a schizophrenic,
she would have no idea.
She could have flipped to another personality and then did something and then flipped back, not knowing anything. No clue. You know what I mean?
And it would be highly unlikely that she would ever remember it either in an alternate personality. So she was being held at Clifton T. Perkins facility, and I believe she's still there to this day.
So a legal loophole was discovered to where she could walk out September 15th last year. I'm still not quite sure if she did or not.
She didn't.
Yeah, I believe she might still be in there. Then Troy created a Facebook page, Justice for Sarah and Jacob. He does interviews. He goes to the local park and think of them when he can't sleep. His oldest stated that they may never come home. There's no signs of them being found. The little brother is trying to stay, the other brother, he's trying to stay strong for them. You know what I mean? Just like, because it's him and his dad.
I cannot imagine being the only child that didn't disappear. It's just awful.
And then also, while she was in the mental facility, she was assaulting other patients and she tried to escape multiple times.
Obviously, she wasn't successful with it.
So, and then obviously she got something she's trying to run from.
I don't know. That's pretty typical of mentally ill patients. A lot
yeah,
of them
but I'm just saying because of everything that led up to that.
In
you try to run from Chick-fil-A. Who runs from Chick-fil-A? You run to Chick-fil-A. Come on. Come on, it's like Krispy Kreme with the light on.
Oh, I miss Krispy Kreme. So, there was no sign of them ever found, whether it be dead or alive. All that Catherine will still say is they are safe. Now, you hear a lot of times in cases where mothers have murdered their children, that they think that they're saving them from something and that they're safe, but it could be that she's saying they're safe in heaven.
Yeah.
So her saying that doesn't necessarily mean that she believes that they're alive. It could just be that she thinks that they are better off where they are, which is awful.
Now, the Montgomery Police Department, they have their number is 301-279-8000. Definitely, if you heard anything or if you saw anything, even if it just comes to your mind now, just definitely give them a call, let them know.
And we'll put that below.
Yeah, we'll put it below too, just in case if y'all didn't catch it now. Back to some of the theories that we thought and we were looking up, the underground adoption. Now, it is completely 100% illegal, but a lot of people seem to be doing it.
This is what they thought that family did this past year who returned the boy that had autism, that famous YouTuber family.
Oh,
they thought that it may have been something like this. So with the underground adoption, it's basically black market adoption.
Yeah.
So,
but you don't know. I mean, you could be selling your kid into sex trafficking, anything. You know what I mean? Like,
it's generally like one person handles the trade-off and stuff like that, but you have no idea what's happening to those kids after that. And the greed of people, it wouldn't surprise me.
Now, some people definitely said she arranged this. I'm still not quite sure about that. Some people seem to say that this was well planned out. She knew what she was doing. She had full control of her mental state when she was taking care of this. And a lot of people were wondering if she, and including me, if she would have had a little bit longer, what would have happened to the older son?
Because she seemed to stagger it out with this.
She got one out of the way, and then the next day she took her daughter, and then all she had to do was wait till a little bit later, and she could have got her son out of there.
Exactly. So nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows if they're dead or alive, and she still is yet to say anything about it. Personally, I think that she killed them.
Me too.
Unfortunately. It just...
Now, as far as should she be charged for it, that's the thing that I have the issue with. Because I firmly believe in mental disabilities and stuff like that. but they should be definitely heavily researched. But also, she could be faking it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's like the catch.
and that's why I'm all over the fence on this one.
Because
I definitely know she did something, but I don't know how to handle it after the fact.
We don't know if she's faking it and if she knew exactly what she was doing and killed the kids or passed.
I've seen like movies and documentaries of people who have schizophrenia and they're multiple personalities, and even when they're being interrogated, you'll see the personalities come out.
But it doesn't, you know what always. I mean? Some people have really good control over it. So, no. This is unsolved, obviously, and nobody knows what happened to these children, unfortunately. We're going to leave all the information below. This is a more recent case. All right, this is 2014, so it was a lot more recent than any of the other ones that we have done. So we'll leave the information, as usual. If you've seen something, say something. If you know something, say something. If you liked this video, if you found it interesting, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button.
Let us know what y'all think about what y'all opinions are on this case too. I really want to know, and I do give feedback.
Yeah,
and if y'all got any ideas on another case we can look up, make sure y'all put that in the comments as well.
Let us know whether you think that she killed them or whether you think she passed them off,
and then let us know if you think if she did if she should be charged, if she should be charged, and why.
Yeah,
I really want to know.
We're a little torn on that one. Yep. So we will leave all the information below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, and you can see when we post a new video. And we will see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Bye.